You're watching Soulful Discussions.
All right, so hi, welcome back. It's been a while, but you're back. How you been doing?
I've been doing really good, just living life, trying to enjoy being in LA, but also grinding and trying to pursue what I came out here for. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I remember. So first of all, one thing I want to kind of mention is that these different hairstyles that you have, because like when I met you, you had the one hairstyle going, and then I've been kind of watching like on your Instagram. You've been like mixing it up, doing some different things.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that? Do you kind of just like it's more of a feel, like what you're feeling at the moment, or what is that?
Part of it. I mean, I feel like I just get bored easy, and I like trying different hairstyles and just seeing how it looks, and then I'll find something that I'll really like and kind of stick with it for a while.
Yeah.
Also, just I work a lot of hours, and so things that I don't have to touch my hair every day. You know what I'm saying? Things that are gonna last me a long time, and I've been doing my own hair for a really long time, so it's because I'm doing it myself.
Yeah.
It's not as expensive to switch up my hairstyle every week because
Absolutely.
I'm not paying somebody to do it. All I'm doing is paying for the supplies.
Do it
you know
yourself,
what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And I do it myself.
DIY.
So I do it myself, and so I can change it all the time, and then sometimes it depends on the event, if I'm going somewhere and what type of vibe I'm going for. Do I want it to be natural?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Am I looking for something a straighter look or something like that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why I change it up. I just get bored. I like trying different styles.
Yeah, you've got some really unique ones that I've seen. I've seen some ones where I was like, man, that's pretty amazing. Okay, she's doing this one, and then I'll look up and like you said, in a week, I'll be like, wait a minute, she done flipped to another hairstyle? Okay, so now it's more context behind it where I see like you said, it's more because you can do your own hair, so it's like, well, why not?
Why not? Yeah,
absolutely.
It's just I'll see something scrolling on Instagram and be like, I could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, I could pull that off.
That
you know
creative side, that's dope. It's dope. I love that.
But unique in a good way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No. It's to me definitely is definitely dope to just see somebody just want to try new things and put themselves out there. So I definitely think that's dope. In terms of, first of all, let's get into the first time we met. You want to give the people some context of how we met that day and how things went.
You just want to tell them?
Yeah. You want to tell them about it?
So sure. I had drove because I drove to we met in Santa Monica. So I had drove to Santa Monica to get brunch with a friend, and they ended up not being able to make it. So I had brunch by myself, and I was since I'm down by the water, because I don't live by the water, and it's a drive for me, and so I was since I'm here, I might as well just take a second to take in the water. And I hadn't been here that long. I only had been here a couple months, so I'm let me just take it in for a second. I was just standing and looking, and you just approached me, asked me if I was cool with doing an interview. I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? I had time to spare. I didn't have anything to do that day, so I was really just going with the flow and vibing. So.
And it's dope because it's I kind of felt all the people that I run into, right? I always feel like it was meant for me to run into them at the time I did. Because as I was going by, there's probably, in between the time that I interacted with you, probably 10 women I approached during that time that said no, right? And so if one of those women would say yes or whatever like that, then I probably wouldn't have ran into you, right? So I always feel like I'm running into who I'm supposed to run into at the right time. So, and it was cool. You were very receptive and cool with doing the interview and everything. I remember your vibe was just really cool, and you've been supportive of the channel. I see you liking things every now and then. So. Definitely appreciate that, and that's why we wanted to bring you back out. So in terms of your first interview, right? First of all, let's talk about what you thought about what it was going to be before you got into it, and then once you did it, then what was there a difference in the feeling, or were you kind of that's kind of what I expected?
I honestly didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
When you I'm not from here, but you always see videos of people approaching people in Santa Monica and asking them things, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube and stuff like that. So I just I wasn't expecting that to happen to me, especially one of my first times just being on Santa Monica by myself. So I was just I have no idea what to expect, but we'll see where this goes. And I really appreciated at the end just how much I had learned from it. You know what I'm saying? How informative you were about what we were talking about, and not just I just want to take pictures, or you know what I'm saying. It was really informative, and it seemed like you had a real purpose. So I appreciated the fact that I was very open-minded to just do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of my motto is to just like go with the flow, vibe, you know what I'm saying, try things out. You never know where they could lead you. So.
Absolutely. And I think that like doing it that way too, because that's something I had to like actually learn. And I think we talked about that the last time we were discussing, right? I wasn't always the type of person to just like kind of like go out and like do things, whatever. Like I was always an overthinker. And so like kind of doing this channel was a way for me to like tap into like, okay, like you have no idea what's gonna happen. Just go out and do it and see what comes from it. And now you look at it and I'm like 10,000 subscribers in, and it's almost a year. It's like I have fun doing this, man, because like I get to talk to people who are women who are like complete strangers to me, learn things about them. I get to learn about a woman's perspective on a lot of things and like how they feel about different things. And I hope that like I can be helpful to like guys who like might want to go out and express like what they like and what they dislike to a woman without feeling like they're gonna be judged or anything like that. So that's the main reason for my channel, like in terms of like trying to create more positivity towards something that people may be into. So in terms of the first interview, when you watched it, thoughts about it, what did you feel like after you got the chance to see yourself back? You're like, this is me, like I'm actually talking.
Yeah, it's always funny seeing yourself on the other side of the camera because I'm usually behind it. And I always cringe at myself and like my answers and like the way I maneuver sometimes. But I just like I felt like I represented myself well and like I answered the questions well. So I felt like I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, that this is just out there in the world for people to see. You know what I'm saying?
You never know, like somebody and the reason why I kind of do this, right, is because I'm hoping that there may be somebody else who may watch this, because I give my channel, when I go out and I even approach women, sometimes they don't want to do the interview, they're nervous, and I give them the channel because I'm like, hey, take a look at some of the other women who have done it, and during the time they may have felt nervous too, and some of them do feel nervous initially when I meet them, but then afterwards they're like, man, I really felt like really cool after I got through the process, like it really felt good. So I'll introduce it to them in hopes that like maybe that'll be helpful for them. Maybe they'll see something and be like, yeah, like I don't need to trip, or I don't need to be like, anxious about this. Let me just go out and, be open. So I think it's definitely dope. So in terms of, I think the last time we met you, right, you had a problem with your toe, like you had the toe and everything. How did that go? I'm guessing you're better now because you're getting pedicures again, right?
So it definitely has almost all the way grown back.
Okay.
So I'm very happy for that because I like to wear open-toed shoes a lot, so it made me like really self-conscious about my feet, and I would like find ways to like hide it or stuff like that. But it's been about maybe like 3 months since I've been like comfortable, like completely like wearing my feet out, getting pedicures again, painting it again. I think about maybe like it's like 2 months ago I got my first pedicure since the incident happened, and like I'm like, okay, it's like it was like kind of short. It was like 3/4 of the way there, but like it wasn't that noticeable because everything else was polished. So like now I was like looking at it and I was like, okay, it's almost all the way there. It looks normal. It just looks like it's cut down low or something, Okay. So back all good. And
That's good.
It healed. I was really worried about the color. Perfect color. It almost looks better than the other one. You know? So,
that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. Glad you're able to like get that confidence back. So I'm gonna ask you some of the newer questions that I have. Because like I said, we asked you different questions last time, so I want to see like what your thoughts are about some of these questions. Okay. So first question is, what are your thoughts about how the world's starting to become more aware of mental health? What we're doing about it? What are your thoughts about that?
I think it's really good, honestly, because I struggle with mental health sometimes. I see a therapist weekly, a psychiatrist bi-monthly. I just started, taking medication for anxiety. So like I feel like taking away that stigma makes people see that it's like it actually is helpful, especially like my parents or like my family. What are you seeing a therapist for? What are you taking medicine for? What's wrong with you? Anxiety in life is normal. Like, my mom and my dad are very much against medication in all forms. They try to like, tough it out before, and if it gets bad, then they have to. So they both were pretty upset to hear that I was taking medication. But I was like having, anxiety attacks in my sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's starting to like affect your productivity. Like, cause like they were like, oh, anxiety, like, oh, you're just stressed, like that's normal. I'm like, oh, it's normal for me to wake up out of my sleep and can't breathe. Like, that's not normal.
That's not normal.
You know what I'm saying? That's not something that I should have to suffer through. You know, and I'm not sleeping because of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not healthy.
Yeah.
So, you know, after I explained those type of situations for them, that, you know, they got a little bit quieter. You know, and I'm like, my plan isn't to like stay on this long term. I just want something to help me right now while I'm in therapy and learning how to manage it. And hopefully being in therapy long enough, I will completely be able to manage it without medication.
Absolutely.
So I think with the world being more aware, it's easier to have those conversations with people who have these stigmas with different parts of mental health, because a therapist is just a paid friend or somebody to listen to. Your friends are not supposed to be your therapist. They don't have the information or the knowledge to really help you, and you're going to traumatize them just by dumping on them.
Telling them all this stuff that's really, really not for them to know. Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting that you say that, right? Because I feel like I find from the women of color who I like tend to like interview, like I'm talking about Hispanic, Black, like any of that, they tend to be the ones that are like in those situations. Because like I would even say with me growing up, right? Household being Black and my mom being like full-on Christian, anything that's like looked at as that, they're like, it's a demon. And it's like sometimes we have just actual issues that are going on that need to be like dealt with. And like, yeah, sure, you know, you can look to the Bible for things and things like that, but sometimes you need help beyond that. And so I think it's really big to be talking about these different types of things. Absolutely. In terms of social media, right? What are your thoughts about it? How do you use it yourself?
I don't love social media, and if we weren't in the like world we are today, I probably would use it less. But because of like the industry that I'm in, the things that I want to do in life, it's kind of important to keep a presence, to build a following. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's like minute things that I definitely have been more intentional about the way that I post, what I post, the captions that I post. Like, I'm definitely portraying, like, not portraying a persona, but more so making sure that my page speaks to who I am authentically. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to, when I was younger, I would use it as like, I would say it was like a photo album. You know what I'm saying? Because like I would post up like
almost like a scrapbook.
Like a scrapbook, because it would be all of my important like. You can scroll through you used to be able to scroll through my Instagram and see my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is her transition, her high school graduation, college, blah, 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 crossing, but I graduated, and I'm like, okay, I don't feel like, these are my big moments, but who am I as a person? What do I find important? You know, I want people to like look at my page and feel like they can resonate with me. There's some depth there, not just like artificial. So that's kind of like what I've been on lately. Definitely wanting to just reach out to, like, just speak my story and my journey and stuff like that.
That can definitely be something that someone who's younger can look at. You know, maybe if they come across your page, it might give them like some different insight into like things that they can do like to be different, right?
That's really interesting. You said that too, because I've been getting a lot of like younger followers. But
it'll come. Absolutely. And that's something that I think could be good for you, because like in terms of like what you're speaking about that you want to be into, like kind of being a role model and being something to like someone who's younger and like setting an example. Absolutely, definitely important. In terms of social media, right? If there was one thing you could change about it, right? Somebody came to you, change whatever you want. What would you change?
That's a good question. I don't like how many ads are on there. Like, it takes the fun away. Like, I can't even see the pictures of my friends and family, because every time I scroll, it's like every two scrolls, it's an ad. Like,
and you're like, wait a minute, did such and such go do it? Wait a minute, that's an ad. Oh, let me keep going.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's on all of them, like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, like just YouTube. People, I'm like, you can pay for it. The person gets paid for it, but you be having like every 30 seconds an ad for, you know what I'm saying, that you can't skip. It's like I can't enjoy the content because it keeps getting broken up. So
I definitely agree with you. All right. In terms of like anxiety, right? What are some things that bring you anxiety? You don't have to go too in depth, maybe just more surface level? What are some things?
Yeah, I've been trying to pay attention to that a lot more lately because before I felt like I was kind of in denial about it, so I wasn't paying attention to the things that trigger me. But one thing I know for sure triggers me is like being late places.
Oh, okay.
Especially when people are like waiting on me or like relying on me. It really especially when I'm late, not due to my own accord. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a roommate, and so say like she always does a full face of makeup, right? So say, you know, we gotta be there at a certain time, but I'm waiting for her. And I'm just like, I'm in like, it's cause like I can't control it, and I'm like and nobody ever cares like that much when you're late. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, I understand,
but in your mind, you're like, it's a bad representation.
Exactly. Is that I feel like it's because, you know, I used to like that my sister's mom used to be late all the time, and like that would irk me. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I couldn't control that, and I hate not being able to control when I get there. Cause I like getting places early.
Absolutely.
Because you get there, you get the first seat, you get comfortable.
Land, like what's
you get
around.
to people come to you to say hi. You ain't gotta go around and say hi to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like to be there early. And so like it stresses me out when I'm not. When I'm not on time, or actually when I'm not early. So, but that's one thing I know is a stressor, so I can kind of like manage it better.
Absolutely. So. And one of the things that I'll say, right, because I think I used to be the same way, right? And I think I remember pastor that I was going to church with, he would mention all the time about like, he's like, I never worry about being late. And he was like, because I feel like I'm going to get there at the time I'm supposed to get there.
Amen.
And he said, if I feel like if I rush, right, like if I know if I'm late already, right, and I rush, I could possibly be putting myself in harm and somebody else in harm. So he's like, I just take my time. When I get there, I get there. And so I've learned to do that. Like, so even right now, like I told you, like I got another interview scheduled, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm not going nowhere rushing. I told her already, like, hey, this is what's going on. I'll get there when I get there. So that's just kind of how it is. And so as much as we do want to like go according to plans, like plans sometimes get messed up. So it's just how it is. You gotta adjust and live with it. All right, let's get back into these questions, and this will be for like the people who didn't watch maybe the first interview. What are your thoughts about your feet? How do you feel about them?
I feel like my big toe is a weird shape.
Okay.
I wish it was more square.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of like curved, like rectangle a little bit.
Okay.
You know, I wish it was more square, so like I used to get like acrylic on my big toe to make the like square very clean on my big toe.
I see. Okay.
So that's like one of the only things, and then like my pinky toe is like sideways, and so like the nail just be funny sometimes.
Okay.
So, but other than that, like I like the feet. They're small. They're a little wide.
Yeah. So you mentioned some things that you didn't like. What do you like? You like that they're small?
They're small.
Okay.
I like that they're small.
Okay.
I feel like my toenails are a good color, if that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, there's some people out there with some
this color,
colors.
you know what I'm
and you're
saying?
like, hold up. Like,
yeah, I like the color.
Okay.
And I like the way that my toes look. It's just like, I wish my big toe nail was different. That's all.
I think we always have stuff about us that we're going to be like, I wish it was this way, but it's all good. You live with it, right? Yeah. Absolutely. In terms of like your feet, have you ever received compliments before?
Yeah, especially like when I have a nice pedicure done, definitely.
Guys, women, both.
Oh, especially like if a girl like likes the color, or if like guys really like your hands and your toes match. Like I have some nails at home that I was gonna put on. That's the same colors that I got. You know what I'm saying? So. And I like it when my toes and my nails match too. So.
Absolutely. So in terms of like getting compliments, right? How does a compliment about that, right? Somebody compliment you about your feet. How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel good because, like I said, I don't think I have the prettiest feet in the world. So I'm just like, oh, you think so?
A little bit of a confident boost.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I think they're average, but I think they're cute. Thank you. You know, so.
Nice. In terms of things that you prefer to get complimented about, right? What's some things that you're like, I prefer that type of compliment?
Personality things. Okay. Definitely, because people tell you like you're cute. You know, like I feel like compliments mean more when they take when you realize something about somebody. Like for instance, also like physical things, like I've
Yeah.
recently been getting complimented on my eyes a lot more because
Yeah.
people are like, oh, it's a different color brown. I'm like, oh yeah, people don't usually notice that about me. Thank you. Or like my smile because I used to have a gap, so like that's something I used to be insecure. Things that I used to be in, like the things that people don't usually compliment me on, you know?
Okay, so that's dope because I remember like our first interview, you talked about like as you were getting older, you were starting to learn to like take matters to your own hands when it comes to like approaching guys, right? And you're like, hey, I'll shoot my shot if I see a guy, I like him, shoot my shot and see what happens, man, right?
Yeah.
And so that was dope because I think I even remember posting like a video about that before your interview came out because I was like, it was the first time I heard like a woman say it because at least from my perspective, right? I don't feel like women approach guys a lot. I feel like women like wait to be like approached or they want to be like, you know, pursued or whatever like that. And so to me, it's like rare when you see a woman who's just like, hey, look, I know what I want. I see it. I'm going after it. Absolutely. So that was definitely dope.
Guys like compliments too.
Guys like compliments too. Like we do. We love them, man. In terms of like if you were going to date somebody or you were dating somebody, right? What is something that's a potential deal breaker for you? Something you're like, I can't deal with that.
Right now, kids.
Okay. You're like, I don't want the baggage.
I'm 24. I don't want to be somebody's mother right now.
Okay.
I don't even want to have my own kids right now, so I don't feel like somebody with a child, I'm not the right match for them right now because that's not the lifestyle that I'm trying to live or like equate myself with. Now, if I get older and I'm ready to start having a family, like, cool, you can have kids. That's fine.
So you're saying at this stage
at this stage in my life, I'm
like,
not ready
more freedom.
I need more freedom. Okay. And of course, like dating is not serious, but I'm the type of person, I don't like putting myself in situations that I don't want to be in. You know what I'm saying? Because like if we're dating, I'm liable to start having feelings for you, then I might change my mind.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, like, let's say you met somebody and initially you didn't know that, and like all the boxes that you have are being checked, and that's the one thing where it's like I have a kid. Even if the situation was like cool, where it's like, hey, you know, there's no drama with the like baby mom, like he has it set up to where like when you got to go out, like the kid could be watching everything, you would still be like, or would it be like you would have to second guess it maybe?
I would have to pray about it.
Okay.
I would have to pray about it. I don't know, this might sound shallow, but you know, it's one of my non-negotiables. You can check other boxes that aren't as important to me. You know what I'm saying? I just know because I come from a broken home. You know what I'm saying? Like I have 3 sisters on my dad's side, a brother on my mom's side. One of my sisters is a stepsister. You know what I'm saying? And like, I know how difficult our family. Like it's great now, like we're good. But I know the dynamic that my mother went through. You know, like my stepmother and my sister's mom, and like that whole drama. It's hard. And if I can prevent myself from living that life, then I will.
I feel it. Okay. All right. So pedicures, you're back to getting them now. How often are you going now?
I like to wear my feet out a lot, so I try to go like once a month.
And that's why you get gel, I'm guessing.
Yes, that is why I get gel. Let it last way longer. Because pedicures I hear are expensive.
They are, man.
You know, they're expensive, and you know, my mom used to be a nail tech, so like I know how to do the basics. You know what I'm saying? If I need to like maintain, but then like sometimes it just gets so bad you gotta be like, I gotta go to the professional. I gotta go. You know, so yeah, especially because it's about to be summertime too, so I'm definitely about to be once a month.
Absolutely.
Done, so.
And I'm guessing you're gonna be out there with the open toe shoes. Like, how often are you doing that right now?
Oh yeah, it's been hot. So I've been wearing my Crocs a lot because I work in production, so we can't wear open toe shoes in the studio. But on the weekends, I'm definitely toes out.
Okay, for sure. And then going barefoot, how often do you do that?
And I'm like, I walk around barefoot like at the house, or like if I'm like, so like right here, I would walk around here barefoot. Like I wouldn't like go from sand to concrete and want to put my shoes on or anything. Like I'm pretty open about like how willing I am to like walk barefoot, but I'm not like going out the house driving somewhere with no shoes on.
Believe it or not, my girlfriend does that. She'll go like,
I think you told
she's
me
going
that,
to McDonald's and she'll be like, only no shoes on and like hop out. I'm just like, okay, man. All right.
See, you know, I be wanting to like walk around more, but like the bottom of your feet gets so dirty.
See, that's what I think about. I think
you,
about that. I'm like, man, look, they get dirty, man. I don't know about that, but
because I don't wear my shoes in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So why would I?
Yeah, but you know what I think it is for her? She grew up just like doing that stuff, like running around. I didn't grow up like that. My mom was like, it was house shoes inside the house. You know, we usually had shoes on most of the time, and like when you didn't, it was because you were going to bed or taking a shower or something like that. So for me, that's foreign. Like I'm like completely like, wait, barefoot, like just walking outside. Oh, okay, that's odd. But
I would
to
play
each their
outside
own.
barefoot,
Yeah,
like in front of my house, like on the street and like
oh,
the
she
grass
said she
and
would
stuff.
go around her whole neighborhood like that. I'm like, okay.
I'm putting my shoes on. You might step on some glass, a pebble that hurt. You know, like it don't always gotta be. I done got glass in my foot before. It don't feel
painful,
good.
Man. It's does not feel
I done
good.
stepped on a tat. Like you want that protection.
Absolutely.
So.
All right, so now can we get back into seeing what your feet look like?
Yeah.
Is that cool? All right.
Yeah.
So let me get you. We got the Air Forces on.
They're
first.
dirty.
First of all, everybody loves Air Forces though, especially on women. Like
dirty.
They love when they get to see them. So like, let's take a look at that real quick.
These my Aaron shoes. They are not.
They're not.
It's fashion.
Got it. All right, so let me get you to take the shoes off first. Leave your socks on.
Okay. The socks are fresh though.
The socks are fresh.
That's what's important.
I actually gotta take the sweater. I was getting a little too hot.
The sun is a
The
little
sun. It wasn't like this
out.
morning. Like when I got out the house, it was like super.
It was
like,
cold when
it
I
was
got
cold.
down
It
here.
was cold.
It's hot up in the valley.
Oh man.
I got down because I wear shorts, like and I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, that's a little brisk
It's
down
all right.
here.
I can adjust it. So we're all good now.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so if I remember correctly, was it a 5.5 or are you like a 5.5, 6?
I'm a 6 in kids.
You're a 6 in kids.
Yeah,
okay.
but I'm an 8 in women's.
Got it.
Because I have a wide foot. That's the only reason though.
Got it. Okay, let me get you to extend out like this. Keep your feet straight. All right, cool. And we got the Hanes socks on.
Yeah.
All right, and you can take them off. All right, so let me see what we got. We got red. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it pure red?
It's
almost
like a
fire
cherry
engine.
red, yeah.
Okay. Nice. And they look nice. And I can tell you can't tell anything's going on. I don't even know which foot it was on. They look perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get you to stand out and then let's see the bottom.
Oh, I just put them on the ground so they can be a little.
Oh, you're good. You're
a little
good.
dirty.
All right, cool. All right, so how you feeling? Now we're going back. We're back out here. We're doing this again. What's the feeling this time compared to the first time?
I feel like last time I didn't know what to expect, so I was just kind of like,
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. And now I'm just like, I'm still like, I don't know what the second interview is gonna be, but like, we're cool. You know what I'm saying? We're good. You know,
Absolutely.
so I'm just chilling. You know?
Okay, cool. All right, so in terms of like we talked about reflexology last time, and I think we talked about how ticklish you were, and I think you said you thought you were gonna be really ticklish, and then you had a story about being like tickled where you passed out one time. So in terms of that, how ticklish are you again? Like,
I am ticklish, but only really in my feet at the bottom.
Okay.
But like I said last time, I can kind of like
control.
I can manage it. You know what I'm saying? Because of my past traumas with being tickled.
It's like I ain't gonna let it get to me.
It's like I have a very high pain tolerance, so I can kind of like withstand the pain that it causes.
Okay.
You know, the discomfort. So.
Do you mind if we test it again so we can check this out? Let's see.
Am I supposed to like try to manage it or just relax?
I want you to first relax and just kind of see how it goes. Let me get you to point them up a little bit more yet. All right, we're gonna start at the right, bottom to top. Okay. Tell me where it's at, and then tell me which foot is most sensitive. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Right. And
right. Yeah.
Right in the arch.
Yeah.
So as soon as I got there, okay. Let's see. Not really here.
Kinda, but worse in the middle.
And then not really at the top.
Yeah.
So right
it's like
in the arch.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me try the left. Tell me if that one is more sensitive and where it's most sensitive at. Okay.
Okay.
Right. 1, 2, 3. This one feels like it's more.
Yeah.
I think you started moving like right away, like right at the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where is it at most? Is it right in the arch again?
Yeah, still mostly in the arch.
Okay. Now try that trick I showed you about wiggling your toes and then tell me if it's less. Is it less?
It is less, yeah.
Okay. All right, and let's try it here. And it's less, right?
It's definitely less.
All right, cool. Let's get you to do those exercises again that I showed you last time. First one, let me get you to bend your toes, make a fist. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, easy to do.
It's good.
Okay, relax. Spread your toes, easy to do.
Kind of easy for the outer ones. The middle ones don't
really move. All right. Let's get you to wiggle your toes for about 10 seconds. pain, discomfort, cramping, anything like that? Nothing? Pretty easy to do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to wrap up here. I'm going to shoot a couple more things, but we're going to wrap up this portion of it. Thoughts? Second time coming out, doing it?
Had the best pedicure I've had in my life.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay, nice.
I mean, I've never. It was really cool. So I'm having a good time.
Okay.
I feel relaxed. So.
Dope. In terms of these questions that you heard this time compared to the first questions, what were your thoughts about these?
I feel like you said, these were more like follow-up, questions. And so, it's like, I feel like the deeper questions were kind of like in the beginning. We still kind of talked about some deep stuff, but, I feel like the other one was like more like introductory, and this is more like follow-up.
Okay, cool. I want you to give us something again in terms of, from that mental health standpoint, like something you learned, maybe something over the last year when we haven't been around each other, something that you could give my channel that could be helpful for the rest of it. And whatever you want. It could be something that maybe you heard in a song or something like that.
I'm trying to think.
It's like, try to think about something good.
Yeah, no. So give me like a second.
It could be something that maybe you even heard in a song.
I think kind of like what you were saying earlier, the thing that I've kind of like been going with a lot lately is that everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
You're gonna get somewhere when you're supposed to, and it may not be on your timing, but it's on God's timing. And when you're stressing out or you're having anxiety, you just have to remember what is for you will always be for you. You being late, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You messing something up, none of that will take away what God has planned for you. So
Absolutely. I like
it's okay.
that.
Allow yourself to make mistakes.
Absolutely.
Give yourself
It's a part of
grace.
life, right?
Yes.
I think that in order to grow, in order to have real growth, you gotta make mistakes, you gotta learn from those mistakes and be able to be like, okay, this is what happened last time, let me do something different. So thank you so much. Appreciate you coming back out. Hopefully, now let me ask you this now, because I'm gonna get it asked. I'm gonna see you again coming back out.
Sure.
All right, so she'll be back. So you guys don't need to ask me that. She'll be back. All right, thank you so much. All right,
Thank you.
Have a great one, okay?
You too. Bye.